Hey, it's me, Devo, your favorite donkey, and I'm here with Boise Mike. Mike and Skip and I, we all had an exciting weekend playing cards down in Las Vegas. It is January. It is cold. It's been a year or so, Mike, since you were like, I'm going to quit my job and play poker full time, right?
Yeah, it's been over a year. I think it was November. Two Novembers ago. So a little over a year. And honestly, this is something that I've had in mind for like 15 years plus.
Oh, yeah.
So
I remember you talking about it
yeah,
for a long time. Yeah.
long time. But I would say the last more than a year, I also put in time at the tables, time online, and I studied my ass off. I studied a ton, like 700 hours plus in the last year, probably.
Yeah, I learned this year that I wasn't as good at poker as I thought I was.
Same here. I learned that I sucked last year.
Which, that might be true every year I've played poker.
Yeah, that's probably, I'm going to feel the same way next year too. Yeah,
Next year I'm going to be like,
year.
I was garbage last year. Wow, I really have transcended to this next level. No, but I definitely think we're studying differently these days, and there's so many resources now.
Yeah.
So you definitely gotta put the time in.
Yeah. What did we start with? The really popular one.
GTO Wizard.
That was pretty good. I enjoyed that for a while. Studied on it for quite a while. So did you, Devo.
Yeah. I'm still using it a little bit. I'll go back and check stuff on it because it does do the multi-table tournament stuff. And but now I'm using hybrid poker, right?
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
That's what I'm using too, and it's amazing. For
it's the hybrid poker's made me better on my GTO Wizard.
Yeah. I feel like hybrid poker has made me better overall for sure.
Yeah.
Than GTO Wizard. We're not sponsors.
No.
By the way,
we're not just sponsored. Please pay for our GTO. Please pay for our hybrid poker sponsorship. It's expensive. It's no joke, but I say it's worth it.
Well worth it. Yeah, I can easily make back the cost for a year in a couple hours at a session.
Yeah,
a couple hours.
It gives you a lot of confidence. So
yeah.
So anyways, here we are, and you don't have a real job anymore. And it's a lot more pressure, right? Because you've got kids and a wife. And, so how'd you do this weekend?
Yeah. So just before I talk about how I did this weekend, I'm almost 40. I'm gonna be 40. I'm gonna be 40 in like 1 year, almost exactly.
I'm gonna be 40 in June.
Yeah. And so to go from being a CPA, financial reporting manager, to making a pretty good salary, very good salary, to just saying, I'm going to play professional poker. I think that came with very mixed feelings for a lot of people, and I was nervous about it too. But anyway, so this. And of course, supporting my wife and 3 kids.
Kimmy was probably a little nervous.
Yeah. She has a good poker face. I don't think she ever gave that away.
She does.
I think she had more confidence in me than I had in myself. Or she just has a really good poker face. Anyway, so this weekend, I did great. This is my first weekend since leaving my job. I left my job like January 3rd. And next day, January 4th, I fly out to Vegas. Mind you, I've done a lot of Vegas trips in the last year and a half. Quite a few. Mm-hmm. Played at the Wynn a lot. And I knew that I already had a good win rate in Vegas in these games. Specifically 2-5, no limit. And this trip, I was thinking, I got to make more money. I have a really big salary that I just lost that I need to replace. So I need to start taking shots. And
you can make sure that hourly is comparable, right?
Exactly. I need to start playing 5-10. Or maybe even a little higher depending on how well I do.
Just to be clear, 5-10's in your bankroll.
5-10 is in my bankroll. In theory, 10-20 also is.
So play in your bankroll. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
he is.
It depends on how deep the game is, though. Like if it's an uncapped 10-20. Yeah, play within your bankroll. Anyway.
Yeah. Find a game you can win at.
Yes, find a game you can win at and play within your bankroll. So I came on this trip with not too much cash. Like I would have wanted to bring more, but I decided that if I needed to make a withdrawal, I would, and I've done that before in Vegas while I'm here. If I run out of cash, it's fine.
Yeah.
So I just came down with 11,000 in cash. So that would be
Dropping money.
yeah.
Oh, here's one.
So, yeah, that's yeah.
What are these?
That's one of them. So here is about how much I brought. 10,000.
All right.
But I said 11,000, so a little bit more than that, right?
This one that fell on the ground. Yeah.
And I doubled it this trip.
Oh, nice.
So that was the 10,000. So I got, this is another 2,000. I clip them in 2,000s. That's 2, 4.
Just show them the pile.
Yeah. Okay. Just spread it out.
Yeah, there you go. There's your.
That's like 22,000.
This is what you bought in for. This is like
Yeah.
22.
It's like 22,000 total.
Nice.
Right around there.
I've seen you in the bathroom stuffing those.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like,
I
I gotta walk out of this casino.
Let's see, where am I going to place this?
Into the sketchy parking garage in Vegas. And to be fair, the Wynn parking garage is gorgeous.
Yeah.
But
the wind's amazing too.
Yeah.
I feel very safe. And
what a comfortable
I love
place
it there.
to play poker.
Yeah, for sure.
I like that they don't make me buy the blinds. And then I guess when I first started playing, I was like, oh well, there's no bad beat jackpot or there's all these other rooms have gimmicks.
Yeah.
Right? But
yeah.
what the Wynn has is just class and style and comfortable. I don't know. It's beautiful, right?
Yeah, so a couple of things to think about there. The bad beat jackpots, all the bonuses. The poker room is going to make sure that they take a little extra rake to cover that. And so you are actually paying for that. And if you are, a tight player,
that's going to hurt you a lot.
You're probably not going to hit many bonuses. Anyway, so like some of the rooms might be like a $5 cap rake, and then they take an extra dollar out for the bonus. Maybe they even take 2. So you're looking at 7.
I just read an article about MGM, having like a $6 or $7 rake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think, don't quote me on all this, but I think the Venetian was somewhere out around 7. And yeah, they were giving a lot of bonuses out. That does bring action because a lot of people are trying to see the flop, see if they hit a bonus. So there's something to be said about that. But the Win, what it has is it doesn't have those bonuses, but you don't pay the bonus chips either every pot, and so you're looking at a rake of like $5 a hand max.
I really noticed that in 1-3 when I play 1-3,
Yeah.
right? Because I'm playing the lower stakes, and when I'm at other places like the Nugget or something
Yeah.
like that has all those bonuses,
Yeah.
I just feel like I get eaten alive by the rake.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
makes a huge difference.
I feel way more comfortable playing at the Win.
Yeah, think about it. If there's 25 hands dealt per hour, and you're raking 5, that's $125 an hour spread across all the people at the table. If you add an extra 2, that's an extra $50 an hour. So you're looking at $175 an hour.
Boom, that's some good math, Mikey.
Yeah, and then spread that across all the players.
Yeah.
It adds up. And so if you're at like a 10 person table, you could be paying $12.50 an hour at the Win to set up the table, or you could be paying like $17.50 somewhere else.
Man, that's crazy.
$5 an hour difference. The Win has better comps too, better comp drinks.
We are not sponsored by the Win.
Yeah, we're not sponsored. Yeah, that's true.
There's a couple other places I like to play in town also. There's some.
Yeah, that's true.
There's some great rooms in town.
Golden Nugget's fun.
It is fun. I play at the Orleans because it's super
fun.
close to my house, and
Yeah.
It's cheap, and I actually like playing at the South Point too. So
Yeah.
I just like the South Point. It's a fun casino.
Resorts World is all right.
Yeah, it's cool. You got into some interesting games at the Win. You played some like crazy pot limit Omaha game, right?
Yeah. Yep. So highest stakes pot limit Omaha game I've ever played. It was 10-20. Occasionally there was straddles of, well, sorry, it was 10-10-20.
10-10-20.
So the straddle was 20,
Oh,
but they were allowing restraddles. And so some hands got as big as 10-10-20, 40-80.
nice.
Initially, people were buying in for like 4,000 into that game, but later on in the session, probably like 6 hours later or so, 8 hours later, the stacks were more like 10,000 each or so. I got up to a stack of 15,000 total. I was in the game for, well, no, I got up to 16.5 thousand at the peak. I was in the game for like 9.5 thousand.
This is a game you kind of have to be a little splashy in too, right? Because you get invited. You get invited to play.
Yeah, you get invited to play.
So don't be mean. Or that's one thing I noticed about the Win is a lot of the players there are super polite. Like I'm really polite when I'm in.
Yeah.
Polite but firm, which is actually the Sheffield family crest. So
Nice.
Yeah. But I just feel like that's, it's like, hey, it's poker. It's just business.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely had a guy freak out on me and Skip got in a fight with him. So it's a poker room. Stuff's going to happen. But definitely at the higher stakes, right? It's a gentleman's game.
It's a gentleman's game. Yeah, absolutely. Be courteous and treat everybody as kindly as you can within reason. And if they do something that's uncalled for, call them out for it.
Call the floor.
Yeah.
Floor.
Yeah, floor. And if you can just be somebody who's fun to hang out with and have a good time, it gives some action.
Just go a long way, yeah.
It goes a really long way, and so I tried to do that the best that I could. I made one of the largest bluffs, probably the largest bluff I've ever made. In terms of the size of my bluff plus the size of the pot. Size of the pot was 15,000, and I shoved for over $6,000 in PLO because I was blocking a set and I was blocking the nut straight. It was an unpaired board, so the nut straight was the nuts. I was blocking it. So I went for the shove and got snap called by the nuts. So,
ouch.
So I shipped it all, and I just kept like reaching for. I had some chips in my pocket and some cash, and I'm like trying to find it from everywhere, and I'm like unloading everything, and I'm like I'm back in. Let's go, guys. And they loved the action because I just lost everything, and I made a crazy move, and I was fortunate enough to have a downswing at one point where I was like down 7,000, and I was fortunate enough to have a massive upswing in the game up 5,000.
Wow, that's a heck of a swing.
Yeah.
But that type of game, like you got to take the swing, right? Or
Yep. Yeah, definitely. And you get caught bluffing like that. When you have the nuts, you're going to get called.
Absolutely, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It works both ways. Cool. Anything else you wanted to touch on about the Vegas trip before we get out of here?
Yeah, so I also played, before that big game, I played some 5-10, and I hadn't played a ton of 5-10 before this trip. I did on some Vegas trips. Didn't have a lot of success with it, but mind you, the last couple of months, I've studied for hundreds of hours over the last couple of months, and I just feel like it improved my game a lot. And in those 5-10 games, I believe I was up 8,000. So 8,000 and 510, 5,000 in the 1020 pot limit Omaha.
You guys flew in on like Thursday, right? And now it's Sunday.
And it's Monday.
Monday
today.
I mean, I know what day it is.
It's funny. I know. I hardly know what day it is too, because I put in over 60 hours already.
Oh yeah, you did a lot of time this weekend.
Yeah, I did. I did 20 hours.
Well, you
on
drank
Friday.
a little too much caffeine one day, and then did like a full 24 hours.
20 hours.
20
and then
hours.
I went back, took a 2-hour nap, played for a couple more hours, went back, took another couple hour nap, came back and played for a couple more hours. And yeah, I don't suggest that. That's not very healthy.
I don't know if that's sustainable.
Yeah, I don't know if that's sustainable. I know.
Definitely suggest, I mean, it's easy for me because I live in Vegas, so I'm like, oh, I went and played for like 3 hours, and then I'm like, I made money, bye!
I know.
And I just leave, and yeah, so, but you're like, I'm here, I gotta make
jealous.
money, yeah.
Yeah. I wish I lived here for that reason.
Because then you just roll down in the morning, have a cup of coffee, win some money.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish it worked like that every time, but
instead I feel like I have to put in like a week and a half worth of time into a weekend.
Yeah. Man, I think for me, like some of my rules are no caffeine at the table. I already have high blood pressure.
Yeah.
And so I get into some of those big hands for all the stack or whatever, and if I've been drinking green tea or coffee, it's just like too much.
Try green tea only.
Green tea only, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
alert but keeps you calm.
Right, that's good. So okay, cool. I could see that with the green tea. Don't do the coffee. Coffee makes me jittery.
Coffee makes me jittery too. Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody's different, obviously, but I just think it's a lot. And then it's always tempting to have drinks at the poker table too, right? Because it's fun and it's a good atmosphere. But
and I do that from time to time, and sometimes it's a really big mistake.
Yeah. And for me, it's always a big mistake.
I've made some huge mistakes because of that.
Actually, this one time I rolled up to O's game. You remember O's old game in Boise, right?
Yep.
And so one of the guys I was out with was like, we'd already been out. It was late, right? It was midnight, and he wanted to impress these girls.
Yeah.
And he was like, take me to that underground poker house you know about, right? And so we did, and we bought the girls in and everything, and I cleaned up. I was must have been playing so loose. And anyways, that'll give you false hope.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, oh,
Yes.
I'm great. I have a couple drinks, I'm fine. And that is not true.
Do you remember me going to O's during Halloween when I was dressed up in that big like sumo wrestling
Yeah, the big sumo costume.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was trashed. In the big old sumo wrestling costume. I sat down at the table like in that costume and played three-handed. And I lost all the cash I had there that night. And it was too much to lose in a 1-2 game. I think it was like $2,000.
Oh, man. Wow.
It was silly. So there you go. Don't get trashed at the poker table.
Yeah, don't.
It's a mistake.
God, those free drinks are tempting.
Unless you're playing stakes that you don't care about and you're having a good time.
That's also true. Yeah, I guess there's a time and a place for everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Like I'll go down in stakes, have some drinks, and have a fun time.
yeah, it's always good. All right, well, hey, thanks for tuning in. 2 Rocks and a Donkey, you guys. We're gonna do more of these as the year progresses. You're gonna be down here for some tournaments and stuff like that, right? More cash games.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be down here a lot. I travel like 1 week in a month at least, and so I'm going to be putting in weekends like this, and we can do updates if that's interesting. And there's going to be some weekends where I lose huge, and maybe that will be interesting to learn about too. So yeah, and tournaments during the World Series, I'll probably play a couple of events. Maybe I'll do a PLO event.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah,
that would be cool.
I'm gonna start trying to film more live stuff for sure. It's definitely gonna keep doing the online things, but man, I'd love to get some more live table content out there.
Yeah, I need to work on that.
It's all right. We'll figure it out. All right, we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in to 2 Rocks and a Donkey, guys. Cheers.